My name is Lipuo Nkholi and welcome to the very first episode of 10 Talk, brought to you by the Entrepreneurs Network, where we are inspired to inspire. So, because we are still celebrating Women's Month as well as shining a light on agriculture during these times of needing it the most, I have an unquestionably befitting guest today. She is the founder and managing director of Lipuo Products, a prize-winning company that produces fruit to make marmalade, canned and dried fruits, as well as an exquisite jam which has been featured in various magazines in Lesotho and South Africa. She has also gone on to found Lipuo Trust and another company, which she is the CEO of, called Green Ambition, that grows beans and wheat. As if she does not have a lot on her plate already as an entrepreneur, we are talking about a philanthropist and a governance and democracy practitioner here. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Lipuo Nkholi, and the crowd says, yay! Look, I need to know, how many hours of the day do you have? Because I don't think it's 24 hours.
No, trust. 24.
You have 24.
Yeah.
I wonder how you do it. But we will get to that. So let's get right into it. You know, we are living during the times of COVID-19 and it has posed a threat on food security. And what we want to know is Lesotho ready to mass produce to an extent where we say, okay, and we'll be self-sufficient?
Oh, thank you so much and thanks for having me. Listen, sometimes we're forced out of our comfort zones because of circumstances, and we find ourselves having to be ready.
Yeah.
So, we have to be ready.
Whether we like it or not.
Circumstances require us to be ready.
How long will that take, though, for us to say, now we are ready and we'll hit the ground running?
I'm actually happy right now, because the government looks like it's also beginning to actually hit the call and realize that if we don't support farming, we are going to die of hunger, not of COVID. So, with programs like that, I'm referring to the recent call for from the government for people to go into farming and the subsidies that have been put in place for, to help encourage more people to farm. We're ready because when you look at, I'm sure when you drive to Mafide, when you drive to the river, there's lots and lots of idle land that is lying there. We can actually use that land and plant our own food and grow our own food. So we are ready. We just need to use our hands.
Because speaking about agriculture, I see that there's a lot of buzz around it, specifically here in Lesotho, that people are saying, okay, we are ready, we're going to invest in agriculture and just go on with the thing. Speaking of agriculture, and we're still celebrating Women's Month, what roles do you think that women play in agriculture?
I actually love that question because it's actually a very ionic one. Because now, when you look at our continent, for instance, because this doesn't just apply to Lesotho, it applies to the whole Africa. Women, statistics tell us that women constitute 80% of the workforce in the agricultural sector. So this is why I'm saying it's ionic, because we seldom recognize their efforts because you find that they're just involved in the production, in the manufacturing and the likes, but not in actual decision-making processes.
So they do not have the power.
They don't have the power, but they are actually working in the industry. So this calls for reforms in the policies, and make it a point that we correct and identify those elements that constitute to making women at a disadvantage in the industry of agriculture.
And speaking of that, there's this thing I like about 2020. Thanks to Miss Universe, Miss Zozibini Tuzi. She taught us to just take up space and cement ourselves in spaces that only our ancestors could only ever dream of. And now we're here, we're saying women have the power, they are capable of actually doing the work. But like you're saying now that 80% of them are in agriculture, but they do not have the power. So what truths should we be looking into? What should we address to make sure that everything is as it should be?
I like looking at this issue as the one that is trending worldwide of Black Lives Matter, and as opposed to All Lives Matter. Yes, all lives matter, but at the moment, black people are being killed for just being black.
Yeah.
So when you flip it and now bring it to the agricultural sector, yes, women are participating in agriculture. There's more of them, and now we're having policies that are going to support people, everybody that wants to join the agricultural sector. However, they're not at a disadvantage like women, because I mean, when you look at issues around gender inequality, it's still huge. Like you go to the villages, it's still huge. Just because somebody is a woman, they're not given enough opportunities. So what we need to do, the truth is, we need to actually make policies that are specific towards women. Just like we have in politics, we currently have a policy that allows for women to have at least a minimum of 30% representation. Why can't we have policies like that that target women and make sure that we give them positions that are going to be influential and meaningful in the agricultural sector? Not just because they're women, but because they're capable. They've shown this.
Because they're capable. And the thing is, you touched on agriculture in the rural areas, whereas that's where a lot of production happens, right? And we're saying we should have these policies that actually reach them. We just don't have them written on paper. We need them to reach them. So we are saying that women in agriculture, especially the ones in the rural areas, are the ones we are making these policies for. But do they really speak to them? Are they actual? So what I want for you to do is to just paint a picture for us so that we can understand what exactly happens in the background that is the rural areas.
Okay, so as you know that, like traditionally, a man is the head of the family. And also traditionally, our fathers and uncles and grandfathers used to work in the mines. But now when they are away at work in the mines, they have left property under the custodianship of women, wives. However, those women can't own that. You know what I mean? Traditional, it belongs to the head of the family. So they're just there to develop it and plan on it, but they don't necessarily own it. So that means at the end of the day, the ultimate decisions lie with the owner of the property. So that's a problem already, because now it limits the creativity and innovation that women can actually have in terms of fully exploiting such land. And and secondly, it's you find that at the end of the day, men are still expected to be the ones to provide back home, and women are supposed to sit at home, look after the family, and even in the same farming when they work, they are limited to certain types of jobs, like a tractor. I'm probably one of the first women learning how to drive a tractor right now, because women are limited to say hlaula and the likes, but those that are considered powerful and tough, they're reserved for men. Just a practical example, recently as we were developing my orchard, so we need to dig holes, paint and things like that. So someone I was working with, a colleague was like, no, we'll just get men to come and paint. I'm like, excuse me,
hey,
why are we only getting men? No, women can't do that. I'm like, no, we are going to make it a point that women are also involved. So it's a lot of work that needs to a lot of work towards mindset shift. Don't look at women like they can't do certain things and can only do certain things. It's a struggle. Even with me, recently there's a man who called me Mas Mimi. I'm not young. I'm not a girl.
You're
I'm not
capable.
A girl. I'm a farmer. I'm a woman. But you can imagine the condescending tone. So it's a lot women deal with out there. But we're still there. We still do our thing. What I
like is that you are doing your thing and you are showing us how it's done. So I am pretty sure that all the other women will just follow suit. And speaking about women, we're always talking. We're saying that you have done it. I won't say you have done it all, because I'm pretty sure you have bigger goals as well. But you already are well on your way there. And we want to know, who do you talk to? Like, which doors do you knock on for you to be able to say, I'm here and I'm at this point in terms of my business?
Oh my God, I really love this question, because traditionally Lesotho, we shy, not a kind of nation. I don't know whether it's
humble,
from the upbringing, like humble,
society.
respectful. I don't know. I knock on doors. Like I literally knock on every door. You'll shut a door on me today. I'll be back tomorrow if I believe there's something that I can get from you, and I'll engage you. You'll hate me. You'll end up loving me. And I really believe it's the spirit that we really need to have. To say, listen, at 10, I realize that you're dealing with trainings and capacity buildings and stuff. I'm doing this. We don't. First of all, we don't share our dreams enough. We don't talk about our dreams enough. We don't. You know what I mean? Because there's that, fallacy that people steal your ideas when you share.
Yeah.
No. I mean, of course they will. It's also not yours originally. But
right. And speaking of that, here we deal with a lot of pitch competitions, and people always ask, idea, I don't want to share. How are you going to ensure that nobody else steals my idea? And we're like, you pitch because I'm sure there's importance in pitching. It's not only about getting the word out there, but like you were saying, sometimes it's about testing the environment, testing your idea if it's viable, and so on. And we are talking about a person who's been pitching practically through.
Trust me. Yeah.
And we talked a bit about rejection, and you say you keep on knocking on doors. So how would you tell me, as a person who's been rejected, as a person who's afraid of knocking on doors again, how do I just gain that strength to continue to knock even if I'm rejected? What is rejection to you?
I mean, rejection to me, I think it's all about how you look at it. Because rejection to me could mean that's the wrong market for you. It could mean it's not yet time. It could mean you need to work on this and shape it in a way that addresses the problem. Because at the end of the day, whatever we do, I mean, especially as entrepreneurs, it's to solve problems, you know what I mean? So it could mean go back, regroup, restructure this, come back later, or it's not yet time.
Would you say
the audience is wrong? So I don't take it personally. I go back and look at what I can change and change that and go back to you.
You don't take it personally. I think that's the key word. You don't take it personally. So would you say that it gives you confidence?
It does. It actually increases it. It works on my confidence.
Okay.
If I was scared to talk to you now, I've talked to you. You reject me, which is not rejection. You told me, because in the rejection, you tell me why. You need to ask why people are rejecting you. To ask, I failed so many
so
pitches.
You can learn.
I ask, give me feedback. What did I do? What did I do wrong? I go work on that thing that I was told I did wrong. I improve it. I go to the next person. I pitch better. So it's a learning curve. It's every experience is education.
And it has taught you to be able to go even to bigger stages and say, I have pitched and I am winning. You're not just pitching, you are winning. Can you walk us through the journey of what you've pitched for, which stages, just to encourage everybody who's listening?
Oh, wow. So I've pitched, I was telling a group earlier that I've pitched, I think, more than 200 times in the past 3 years. And I'm not kidding. And out of those many times that I've pitched, I think I've won, maybe monetary value 4 times. And for me, yes, the money has been amazing, but the lessons I've learned in all those other pitches that I didn't even win anything, they are probably even worth more than the actual money that I got. The networks I've built, the people I've been able to rub shoulders with, the countries I've been to, the exposure, all those things contribute towards what you're building. Because now you go out there, I saw gem, and I see packaging in Liberia. I'm like, it's beautiful. I go on to the US. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take Liberia and US and compare them and build something even better. So it's just amazing.
My lecturer once said that you don't steal ideas in business, you borrow them, because you're aware of the environment. Now you learn from that, you learn from other entities, and like, I want that, I like that, for Lesotho. Yay, even better. For Lesotho.
Absolutely.
What makes you proud of being a Lesotho woman? What makes you proud of being from Lesotho?
This great country. I think one of the things that make me really proud is our founder. I think Moshoeshoe was one of the most brilliant men that have ever walked the face of the earth. And what he's done for us is to actually make us aware that it's very possible. I mean, it's unthinkable a small kingdom can actually exist
Within
and be
a country.
resilient and be independent and sovereign within another country. How did he survive such powerful leaders like the Shakas and things?
Yeah.
So I mean, I read our history and I see the richness, and I bring it to my life to say I'm just an ordinary girl coming from rural areas in Mafeking, and I'm sure people think there's nothing that can create that can come out of that.
Yeah.
And I read and I listen to people like that, and I realize that they've done it before. It's very possible for me to do the same. So I love that, and I love being a Mosotho because, hey, it's just who I am.
It's just who you are.
Just who
And
I
it's our
am.
mandate to continue with, just to pass the baton, we continue with being proudly Basotho.
I find myself a Mosotho. I can't change that.
Yeah.
So the best thing for me to do is to make it work and make it look amazing to the next person watching that, hey, I want to be a Mosotho too. And I hope I'm doing that.
I'm pretty sure you're doing that. So what advice would you give to everybody who's watching?
My advice to anybody, especially Basotho, watching this, is to say, go out there. The world is ready. Now more than ever. Go out there, do your thing. If the next person doesn't accept it, there's definitely another person who will accept what you're doing. You are enough. You have what it takes. We can't preach that enough. You definitely have what it takes to shake the world, the continent, like not just this country. Don't limit yourself to the borders of this country. Fly.
That's important.
Fly, child.
Fly, child, black child, it's possible.
Very possible.
You're very busy, and busy people tend to continue to be busy. What's your next move?
Oh man, I am absolutely very excited about. I take it you mean business move because I'm all about business and fun.
Of course.
So I'm actually very excited about where I am right now, farming. However, there's still like a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of changing the mindset of the industry. It's very sad that farming, even though it's the biggest, the oldest industry in this country, we still do it in a very traditional way. It's time to incorporate innovation. It's time to incorporate a whole lot of things that will drive it. We can't keep planting maize. No. So my next move basically it's a lot of models. I'm currently working with amazing young people of this country to come up with models that will work and scale up. And not just for me as a person, but I'm really at a point where I really think it's very important to serve. And we're the only ones that are starting all those things. So it's very important to lay foundations for the ones that are coming behind. So I'm here to change the trajectory, to change the environment in the farming sector, and formalize it a bit. You know what I mean? Make it work. Open the eyes of a lot of people that are not aware that farming is the future and soil is actually wealth. So I'm just definitely chilled here.
There you have it. She is definitely ready to do everything and anything she can do, while she also makes sure that she builds each and everyone else up. And Batwa Mafedeng, hello Batwa Lesotho. I think you've changed the narrative. Otherwise, thank you very much. I hope that this was insightful for you. Stay tuned. Until next time, take care.